First, in the unlikely event of an emergency, there are two exits I must bring to your attention. The first is the door by which you enter the theater, and the other is over your left shoulder at the top of the stairs. Both of these illuminated exit signs would take you safely to the 10th Street side of the building. In the unlikely event of an emergency, please walk or run to the nearest exit. Also, if you have any electronic devices that might light up, vibrate, make noise, and distract the cast and crew of this production, please silence them now. I will lead by example. There is no photography or recording today, with the exception of that gentleman up there who made prior arrangements. Otherwise, no cell phone photography, no video photography, or recording of any kind. Also, if you find you need to exit the theater during either Act 1 or Act 2, please do so at the top of the stairs so you don't distract the cast or other audience members. Also, today's performance is scheduled to last approximately 2 hours and 10 minutes. That includes a brief intermission. And you may bring beverages and snacks back in for Act 2. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, Theater for the New City is very proud to present Skip to My Lou.
Hey. Hey, excuse me. Hello? Hola? Hey, can you hear me? Hey, I'm not dangerous or anything. Just trying to be friendly. Are you deaf? Maybe you're deaf. Okay, I get it. You just don't like white boys?
Do I know you? I don't know you.
My name's Romeo.
Yeah, right, and I'm Juliet.
Now there's a story. Is that space station? You want to sit?
It's fucking warm.
Sorry? I can get some more ice cold.
You stupid? Something wrong with you?
What do you mean?
Oh, you didn't hear me. I asked if you was stupid. I asked you if you was stupid because you seem to be so stupid, that is. And what I really want to know now is, are you actually, in fact, some kind of a fool, or are you just stupid enough to pretend to be stupider than you actually are in order to scam a little pussy out of me on some kind of sympathy scheme?
Did you just snap at me? Is that what you call snapping?
Not really. Snapping would be saying that your brain is as fucked up as your suit. What I was doing was putting your ass straight.
Putting your ass straight. Now there's a string of words. To put one's ass straight. As in straightening out one's ass? Like straightening out one's closet, I presume? Black people sure do like to use the ass word, don't they? One day soon I'm gonna get my sorry ass back in school. If the police ever find him, they gonna lock his ass up for sure. Huh. Say that again, sucker. Go on and say it one more time before I kick your cracker ass. Oh, you talking to me? I know you're not talking to me, you bitch ass motherfucker. Oh yeah, all right. You try that again, and I'm gonna bust a cap in your ass. Hey, what does that mean anyway? Bust a cap into someone's ass. Is that like a blasting cap? Like somehow you're gonna blow up the poor guy's asshole?
You are.
What about, oh, you think I'm playing, huh? I'm dead ass, motherfucker. I mean it, I am dead ass. I like that. It's like a deceased ass, like it's a very serious qualifier.
What's you?
You're the most beautiful girl in my world.
You wanna fuck me?
Excuse me?
You heard me.
Here?
How about a little top then?
Huh?
A blowjob, stupid. You want a blowjob?
Oh, blowjob.
Yeah, a blowjob.
Do you like them? Blowjobs?
You a cop?
What? Hell no, really? You think I'm a cop? No one's ever thought that about me before.
I have to ask that.
Oh, I'm sorry. Damn, I'm a little slow tonight. You're a hoe, right? That's how you say it. Hoe.
You still didn't answer my question.
What? Oh, no, I'm not a cop. Never even fantasized about being a cop. I did think about being a fireman once.
So how about that blowjob?
How much?
How much you got in your wallet?
I don't know. Let me see.
I'll blow you for whatever you got in your wallet.
Excuse me?
I will give you the best blowjob of your life right now, right here, for all the contents in your wallet.
What if there's no money in there?
Well, then, nigga, you just got yourself a free blowjob.
Wow. I like that. I like when you just call me nigga. That's cool.
Wait, shut the fuck up, you dumb ass. You in? Are you out?
Oh, I'm in. In like the Lynn.
Wait. No, but who are you supposed to be?
A nerd. I was being a
A
nerd.
nerd? You seemed like you were being yourself.
Are you calling me a nerd?
Maybe.
That's nice. That's real nice.
Well, a nice nerd. A nice nerd with a nice dick.
I've never met anyone like you before.
What do you mean?
Just what I said.
I don't know how I'm supposed to take that, what you said about never meeting anybody like me.
You're different.
Oh yeah, how so?
I think you're unique.
Is it because I blew you here in the park?
I don't know, not really.
You've been blown in the park before?
Dozens of times.
Get out of here.
Maybe not dozens.
You're full of shit.
If you ain't talking about ass, you're talking about shit. I guess it makes
You're
sense.
so stupid.
Maybe, but I do love your ass.
I believe you are crazy. You are one crazy ass white
There you go again with the ass construction.
Crazy.
No more so than you are.
I am not crazy.
No, you're unique.
That's right.
That's what crazy people think themselves as.
No, it's not.
Unique. They think themselves unique rather than just plain crazy.
Do you love me?
What?
Do you love me?
More so than you'll ever know.
Is that so?
Yes.
Is that because you know how much I love you?
I don't know. I never thought about that. I never thought about it that way, like that.
That sounds like a riddle.
I really enjoyed coming here. I haven't been out here in years.
That's nice. Nobody around.
I really enjoyed that.
What?
Pretending to be a prostitute.
You pretending?
Fuck you.
Just kidding. I liked it too. I've never done that before.
What's that?
Role playing?
It's fun sometimes.
You got any of that weed left?
You sure do like to party.
It's some kick-ass weed.
Oh, nice construction.
I'm trying to get the hang of it.
You're doing fine.
I used to know this one guy. Talk about unique.
Crazy?
Yeah, he had the best weed around. We used to call it retard pot because it made you totally retarded.
Oh, I'd like to smoke some of that.
Yeah. I haven't seen him in years.
Retard pot guy?
Yeah, Simon. I wonder what he's up to these days.
How come I never heard about him before?
I don't know. Just kind of slipped my mind, I guess.
Friend of yours?
Yeah.
Well, I sure like to meet him sometime. I'm always interested in meeting unique individuals.
I should just call the fucker. Shock the shit out of him.
Yeah, call him up. You still have his number?
I think so. If it's the same one.
Call him up then, or maybe it's too late.
Well, not a problem. Simon hardly ever sleeps. I don't think I saw him sleep more than an hour or two at a time. He's like some kind of fucking marsupial.
A kangaroo?
What?
Marsupial. A kangaroo is a marsupial.
Oh, I guess I meant something else, like a bat or something.
Maybe you are stupid. Just call it up.
And you are?
I'm Siobhan.
How much is he paying you?
Excuse me.
I'm just kidding. You're quite beautiful. I don't think I ever saw old Tommy Boy with anybody like you. He's clearly out of his league.
Fuck you, Simon.
Well, come on in.
Look at you. Pajamas in a pipe.
Pajamas in a pipe.
What are you smoking?
Nothing. Nothing yet.
Nice place.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
Looks like a museum. museum in here.
Yeah, never knew you were into all this kind of stuff.
It's been a long time, my friend.
I guess so. Where'd you get it?
Africa. Go on, feel free to touch anything you like.
Is that real?
It certainly is. I brought that back myself.
You've been to Africa?
I spent close to 3 years there.
Yeah, right. You probably got all this junk at a garage sale.
Well, I'm gonna love this job.
Neither would I. Every item is authentic. That spear, that's a genuine Maasai warrior spear.
Really?
That spear took the life of a lion by a boy who proved himself to be a man.
Besides,
Correct. Every male Maasai must kill a lion before they can be circumcised and called a man of the tribe.
Did you say circumcised?
That I did.
That's gonna hurt. Why don't they do it when they're babies?
A baby can't kill a lion.
every culture has its own set of rituals. I'm sure our culture would seem very strange to a Maasai.
I guess so, but I still don't get it. I mean, the line part, I think I understand that. But cutting? What's the point of all that?
Can't be a man unless you go through both. On top of that, they're not allowed to make a sound either. No crying, no moaning, not a peep or a don't count.
Take it like a man to be a man.
Exactly.
Well, what about the women?
They get circumcised too, only they're allowed to cry.
Girls, always have it easy.
What?
Sorry, just a kid.
I don't find that very funny.
I wasn't trying to be funny.
It's sickening.
It's a ritual, a cultural ritual, like you just said.
Oh, I didn't realize they were cutting girls.
Yeah, I've never heard of that. Girls getting circumcisions?
It's called a clitoridectomy, and no Maasai male will marry a maid without one.
That's kind of crazy.
Not really. In a perverted way, it makes perfect sense. But a girl will want to cheat on her husband. It's all about control, dominance, and control.
Perhaps, but the Maasai may be a bit different in that department.
Oh yeah, how so?
The Maasai are also known to practice polyandry.
Having a bunch of wives.
That's polygamy.
Right, polyandry is where the woman marries not just her husband, but her age group. Maasai men are expected to give up their bed to a visiting age-mate guest.
And the husbands are okay with that?
Apparently.
That is very fucked up.
Also, if the wife gets pregnant by the guest, the child becomes the husband's child.
Very fucked up.
Strange, but interesting. I never heard of polyandry.
Neither have I. Those Maasais or something else. Are they the ones that like to drink blood?
They do drink blood, yes.
Yeah, I thought I read about that somewhere. See, I know some names.
You sure do.
The Maasai are basically nomadic herders who drink the blood and eat the meat of their cattle. But surprisingly enough, they don't suffer from heart disease. In fact, they did a study that showed them to have half the cholesterol levels of an average American.
So what does that tell you?
It tells me to eat, drink, and be merry.
You are a unique individual, Simon.
It's good to see you, Thomas.
Yeah. So what's new, man? What's up?
Well, for one, I'm no longer single.
What? You got a girlfriend? Like a regular girl?
Actually, I'm married.
Get the hell out of here.
It's true, I'm married, happily married.
Yeah, right. Where is she then?
She's bathing. She wasn't prepared for company tonight.
Oh, sorry. We didn't mean to bust in on you. We can...
No, don't think anything of it. We haven't had guests in such a long time.
You're married.
Happily married.
I can't believe that. I mean, I just never thought you would ever get married.
I found the perfect woman.
That's nice.
She should be done by now. Hey, yo, darling, our company is here. Yo, do you hear me? Come on out here and say hello. She tends to be shy.
Is that her name? Yo-Yo?
Yeah, you got a problem with that?
No, it just sounds like a...
Like a dumb name?
You said it, not me.
But you thought it.
That's what you think.
That's what I know.
That girl ain't got a stitch of clothes.
Yo, what the hell do you think you're doing? Can't you see we've got company here?
You called me.
Is that right? Jesus H. Christ, when are you gonna learn? Now go back in there, put on some clothes, and then come out, okay? You understand what I'm telling you? Go back inside, put on some clothes, and then come back out here when you're all dressed. When you got clothes on you, then come back out here. Get it?
Got it.
Good. We met in Africa. She's African.
explain some things.
You don't know the half of it.
She is beautiful.
Thank you. If you'll excuse me for a minute, I think I'll just go check on her. I'll be right back. Feel free to help yourself to anything you like. The bar is always open here.
Damn, that was weird.
How old do you think she
I
is?
don't know, she's some kind of young.
She is young.
They marry young in Africa.
This ain't Africa.
Are you okay? You want to go?
No, we just got here.
I don't want you to feel uncomfortable or nothing.
I'm fine.
All right, Simon can be a bit much sometimes.
He seems fine. This place is so beautiful and it's so far uptown.
Yeah, the whole city's changing. I mean, not so long ago you wouldn't see any white people here, especially after dark.
Unless there were cops.
Or junkies.
You've been here before?
Nah, last time I saw Simon, he was in a 2-bedroom flat down in Alphabet City.
So how did you two meet?
Oh, we went to college together. We were even roommates for a time.
So how did you lose touch?
Oh, just kind of drifted apart. I started working like 60-hour weeks right away. Just kind of lost touch. You want something to drink?
Sure.
What do you want? He's got beer, wine, just about everything else. What do you like?
Things strong.
Like what?
I don't know.
I think I'm gonna have me a beer.
We're back, and this is my wife, Yo-Yo.
Hello.
Hi.
Say hi, Yo-Yo.
Hi.
She tends to be shy, even when she does get to know you.
Nothing wrong with shy.
You have to learn self-control, to have patience. You have to be able to wait sometimes.
I don't want to wait.
All right, then, what the fuck? Go on. Go ahead, Yo-Yo. Go on. It's all right. Don't mind her. She likes being elevated. Gives her more vertical space.
Awfully good with the yo-yo.
That she is. One of her few extraordinary talents.
What else is she good at?
She can make a perfect martini. Care for one?
I was gonna have a beer.
I like martinis.
Splendid. Me too. Oh, Yo-Yo, darling. I need for you to make us some martinis.
Martini.
Yes, make us some martinis, and then you can go back to your stool. Yo-Yo. Yo-Yo. Right now. I said right now. Simon says right now.
Simon says.
That's right. Simon says, make us some martinis.
Okay. Okay, fine. Fine, Simon says, okay.
That's a good girl. Giovanni.
Gin.
Me too. Twister with an olive.
I like a twist.
I'll bet you do.
I'll take one. 2 up. Is up alright?
Up is fine. Up for you too?
Definitely up.
Okay. Yo-Yo, pay attention. Listen very carefully. Simon says 3 gin martinis up with a twist. 3 gin martinis up with a twist. Get it?
Oh, God, he's.
Good.
Whoa, hey, careful with that knife.
No need to worry. She's African, remember?
What is that supposed to be?
She's good with knives. She grew up with knives.
And with the yo-yo, too.
That I taught her. She never saw a yo-yo in her life before she met me. Never even knew they existed.
Fascinating.
It is, isn't it?
So how did you two meet?
Through her mother. I met her mom first.
And I'm not.
That's right.
Thank you.
Nicely done, thanks.
And now, a toast.
Here, here, to old friends.
And new beginnings.
Hi.
Thank you.
Looks old.
Yes, it does.
Is it old?
I don't know. I got it when I got Yo-Yo. It was her mother's.
Part of the dowry.
Yeah, you could say that, I suppose.
Family heirloom.
Maybe. I never asked about its origin.
That's a beautiful stool. Is that from Africa?
Yes, it's a replica of the Ashanti golden stool.
Like the singer.
Excuse me?
Like the singer, the R&B singer. That's her name, right? Shanti?
Yeah.
You like her?
She's alright.
She really likes Mary J.
Mary J. Blige. Not personally, but I've heard her sing. Sort of a modern day Billie Holiday.
I've never heard that before. You're right. She is like Billie Holiday.
Sure.
So what's with the stool?
The golden stool is sacred to the Ashanti. Supposedly it flew out of heaven to unite the Ashanti people. They say the soul of the Ashanti resides in the golden stool.
Yo-Yo and Ashanti?
No, if she were an Ashanti, she'd never allow for a replica of the golden stool to even exist in her presence.
So why do you even have it?
I like the way it looks. Yo-Yo likes it too.
That's what I'm talking about. You always did have that badass shit. Didn't I tell you?
That's what you said.
And?
You did not lie.
So where'd you two meet?
McDonald's.
I see. Interesting.
Yeah, I was working there.
Really? Never would have guessed that. Guess what? Her flipping burgers.
Something wrong with flipping burgers?
Not at all.
I wasn't flipping burgers. I was working on a study at McDonald's. Actually, right outside McDonald's.
A study? What kind of a study?
A psychological experiment. Siobhan's gonna be a psychologist.
Really? I was a psychology minor.
No, you weren't.
Yes, I was.
You. I don't remember that.
Just because you don't remember something doesn't mean it's not true. So tell me about this experiment.
We were investigating, or trying to investigate the different parameters regarding altruism.
Altruism. Is there really such a thing?
Of course there is.
Is that so?
Yes.
Yeah,
Isn't there?
you are living proof. My job was to observe and take detailed notes, and Thomas was my first subject that day.
And you didn't see her? You didn't notice her watching you?
No, I was really hungry.
I could be starving and I'd never miss someone so attractive.
I was found way off to the side. From where I was sitting, I could clearly see the other tables, but to see me, you had to turn and make a special effort, and I wore hat and sunglasses.
So you were in disguise, camouflage.
Obviously.
And
And we had an actress working with us. She was late middle age, basically nondescript.
Grumpy.
She would play two distinct roles. She would be a mean old rich woman and a sad old poor woman. And when the conditions were right, she would come out and sit nearby the person I was to observe.
at the same table?
No, the next table was the closest seat. So she would put her purse down next to her coffee, and her cell phone would ring. If she was a mean woman, she would be saying that the rent was months past due and that she couldn't keep letting things go on the way that they were, and she would go on and on being really mean, and saying that she would not renew the lease even if the tenant was a single mother with a sickly child.
Really found it up.
It was a psychological experiment.
And the sad old woman?
Just the opposite. She would sit down and her phone would ring, and she would be the tenant. She's the one struggling to pay the rent.
Okay, I got it. So, in each case, the old bag gets up, leaving her purse behind.
That's right. How did you know that?
I told you I was a psychology minor.
Yeah, whatever.
So which one did you get?
I witnessed the mean old woman.
And you returned her purse, despite the fact that she was mean and didn't deserve it.
That's right.
But not only that, Thomas actually offered to pay the tenants back.
Oh, above and beyond the call of duty.
I just did what I thought was the right thing to do.
Not many people like you.
No, there's not.
He was unique to your study.
One of a kind, period.
Why you love him so.
Yes.
So how'd it go from lab rat to lover?
A few days later, I did take notice of her, only at a different McDonald's. Pure coincidence. I showed up before they started experimenting, and I saw Siobhan and the old woman sitting together talking, and I went up to say hi to the old lady, and she introduced me to Siobhan.
Did you know her as the old woman, or is the old woman playing the role of the old woman?
I knew about the study. The old woman told me what was what after the first time after I kept trying to pay the back tenant's rent.
And the rest is history. It's great to be in love, isn't it?
It is, don't you think so?
Sure. I'll bet you were the one to ask him out first.
Nope.
I asked her.
To the zoo, no one's ever asked me on a date to the zoo before.
Nice. Very original. Women are rarely unimpressed with originality. So you go for your master's, PhD?
PhD.
Siobhan got a full scholarship.
Congratulations. God bless affirmative action.
What the fuck is that supposed to mean?
What? Hey, you got me all wrong. I'm all for it. I'm an ardent believer in the importance of affirmative action. Seriously. Didn't JFK start that?
I don't know who the hell started it. It doesn't matter.
I suppose not.
What are you trying to say? Simon, you are still completely fucked up. Siobhan is an excellent student. She got all A's all the way through it. Unlike you and me, she grew up hard. She grew up in the projects without a father or a mother.
It's quite obvious how smart she is.
She would have been accepted no matter what color she is.
No doubt. But still,
What?
nothing.
No, say what you were gonna say.
I don't have to say anything.
What? You're afraid you might hurt my feelings?
No, not at all. Because like I said, I'm all for it.
Affirmative action.
That's right.
And why is that,
Levels the playing field, so to speak. Isn't that the idea?
so to speak?
Impossible to give all you guys 40 acres and a horse. Mule. Exactly. But the fact remains, you guys have had it pretty tough from the get-go. Plymouth Rock landed on you, according to Denzel anyway.
You're an idiot. Malcolm X.
As played by Denzel, a black man. Would it be right to have a white actor playing that role, would it?
What the hell are you... What the fuck are you talking about?
Affirmative action, leveling the playing field. And you know, as far as I'm concerned, it's still not enough. Really. How could it be? If we look at the thing logically, objectively, if we look at it scientifically without letting our emotions get the better of us, if we look at it in such a way, not only is affirmative action justified, it is in fact not enough. Not nearly enough if you really want to do it correctly.
What exactly do you mean?
Okay. Well, we can all argue that blacks in this country have been grossly mistreated, first obviously as slaves, and then as second-class citizens, and worse, after their so-called emancipation. So, in order to somehow right these wrongs, in order to better balance the equation, we institute programs so that blacks can get better jobs and better education. Isn't that the idea of affirmative action? To take action in putting blacks in college or in putting them in jobs dominated by white society?
Basically.
Right, but is that enough? I mean, is that being completely fair? Why stop at college or jobs? Why not try to work it out all across the board?
What board?
With everything. Don't blacks have to buy milk, eggs, gasoline? Why not have affirmative action for things like that?
What?
Set up a tiered pricing system. Eggs for whites, eggs for blacks. Same eggs, different prices. 2 sections in the market. One for whites, one for blacks. Same at the gas pumps. Pumps labeled whites only, pumps labeled blacks only.
Water fountains too, right?
Sure.
Very funny.
I'm sort of serious.
We know you are.
Well, what are you?
Amused, slightly.
Well, that's good.
I'm not.
You're no fun.
Yes, I am.
No, you're not.
That was one perfect martini.
Would you like another?
I think I'll have a beer.
One beer coming up.
You bet.
No, why?
I don't know.
You gotta lighten up, kid.
Me.
Sure, it's obvious she loves you. Why be so insecure?
I'm not insecure.
Okay.
Is that from Africa?
No, that was painted here, but the guy in the picture, he was originally from Africa.
Your father-in-law?
No. That's Oda Benga.
Yeah, and?
That's who he is. Was. Dead now.
He looks like a pygmy.
He is a pygmy.
He looks like a child.
Why is he in jail?
I have to go to the bathroom.
Okay, but leave the yo-yo here.
I have to go to the bathroom.
Yes, okay, fine, but give me the yo-yo first. You can't take it to the bathroom with you. I told you that before. Yo-yo. Yo-yo, give it here. I said give it here. Simon says give it here. That's a good girl. Go on now. Go ahead. Go ahead. Go do your business. I'll have it here for you when you get back. You were saying?
Yeah. Why is he in jail?
Well, he's not in jail per se. It's actually a cage.
What's the difference?
Once upon a time, Oda Benga lived in the Bronx Zoo, in the monkey house.
Don't listen to him.
It's true. You can look it up. Oda Benga was once the main attraction at the Bronx Zoo.
When was this?
A little after the turn of the century.
I don't believe you. Don't believe a word he says.
Well, it might be true. I mean, there were Africans and Eskimos at the World's Fair, some kind of a tribal exhibit.
I never heard of that.
Well, just because you never heard about it doesn't mean it's not true.
I know that.
You are exactly right, Siobhan. Oda was in one of those very exhibits before he ended up in the zoo. He had a very sad life.
And you're gonna tell us about
They
it?
say back in Africa, his first wife was caught by an enemy tribe and eaten, and his second wife, she stepped on a snake and got bit to death.
That is sad.
Not long after, he ended up in the slave market of the Bashil tribe, who were also known to sometimes eat their captives.
I suppose they're the same people who ate his first wife.
I believe so, but Oda got bought by an American, a Reverend Samuel Werner, for a pound of salt and a bolt of cloth, or so they say. Werner had come to Africa to gather authentic pygmies for the pygmy village back in the States.
I'll let you break.
Oda was the main attraction. He was thought to be very clever and was particularly adept with string games. For a nickel, he would grin, displaying his pointy teeth while performing cat's cradle. Not many people ever saw teeth like that before. So, when the fair came to an end, the resourceful Reverend was able to hook Oda up with a new gig at the zoo. The zoo director, William Hornady, was delighted. He gave Oda a cage next to Dohong, the orangutan, along with a bow and arrows to shoot on the lawn outside their cages. For added atmosphere, they scattered bones beneath the hammocks. And when not shooting arrows, Oda would often wrestle with Dohong.
A most unique performer.
That he was. But then, the zoo director, Hornady, he got the notion to let Oda out of his cage and wander about the zoo whenever he wished. At first, this brought even more crowds, more fame, but it had a downside too. Although his handlers were always nearby, they often allowed and sometimes even instigated the poking and tripping of Oda by unruly customers. This got Oda very angry.
It get me angry?
Things went completely sour after Oda shot a young boy with an arrow.
Did he kill him?
I'm not sure, but after that, his zoo days were over.
What happened to him then?
They put him in an orphanage.
But he wasn't a kid.
But he was small like a kid. First thing, they taught him to wear clothes. Then they capped his teeth and converted him to Christianity. And in just a few short years, Oda could speak fluent English and smoke cigarettes with aplomb. After leaving the orphanage, he got a job at a tobacco factory down south where they called him Bingo. The workers there, they took him from the very start, would often give him root beer and sandwiches to tell his life story.
A turn for the better.
But then, one day, for no apparent reason, Oda broke the caps off all his teeth, stole a pistol, and shot himself in the heart.
Like Vincent van Gogh.
His obituary ended with, evidently he felt he would rather die than work for a living. Okay, here. Go knock yourself out.
I've come across some strange shit in my day, but
Oh, it's true. It's all true.
I'm not talking about the pygmy.
Oh. Well, it's not her fault.
I'm not talking about fault. I'm talking about some serious fucked up shit. I mean, I'm sorry to be blunt. I'm a blunt kind of person.
Very blunt. Dead ass. She keeps it real.
I'm not playing either.
No, I know. And I agree. Simon, it's very fucked up.
She's retarded.
That's not nice.
No, I'm serious. She is a certified retard, really.
Is it true?
How should I know?
I don't think that's very nice.
She don't care. She's retarded, and I don't mean that in a harsh or demeaning manner whatsoever.
Calling your wife a retard is demeaning?
Not if she's a retard.
He has a point.
You shouldn't encourage that sort of thing.
Come on, he's kidding around. She's probably part deaf or something. She probably can't even hear what we're saying.
Yo-Yo is not deaf.
Okay, I get it. She doesn't understand. She doesn't know what the words mean. She probably barely knows any English at all.
Well, she knows a fair amount of English, especially for a retard.
Smart retard as far as retards go.
Precisely.
I don't like making fun of people like that, especially when they're in the same room and it doesn't matter if they understand or not.
No more retard jokes.
It's no joke. Yo-Yo is a retard. She is a retarded African. Really?
Yeah, right.
Even if that was true, it's not right to call her that.
Well, perhaps you would prefer mentally challenged, developmentally delayed.
Either one sounds better than using the R word.
Well, it doesn't to me. The word retard became the preferred medical term to replace imbecile, idiot, or moron. It is a medically accepted term that I choose to use, despite the prevailing winds of what's currently acceptable in so-called polite society.
This is just a poor excuse of a joke. His way of trying to get a rise out of you. Actually, I don't believe she's mentally challenged or in any other way. It's just one of his off-color jokes. He was always that way.
Look, I'm not joking around. Yo-Yo is a retard. And if that's a problem for either of you, then that's your problem. But it's not a problem for her, and it's certainly not a problem for me.
You're not kidding. He's not kidding.
No, it's just a fact of nature. Watch. Skip, skip, skip to my loo. Skip, skip, skip to my loo. Skip, skip, skip to my loo.
Skip my loo, my darling.
Flies in the buttermilk. Flies in the buttermilk. Flies in the buttermilk. Skip to my loo, my darling. Come on, join in. Skip, skip, skip to my loo. Skip, skip, skip to my loo. Skip, skip, skip to my loo.
Skip my loo, my darling.
Lost my partner.
What do I do?
Lost my partner.
What do I do?
Lost my partner.
What do I do?
Skip to my loo, my darling. Skip, skip, skip to my loo. Skip, skip, skip to my loo. Skip, skip, skip to my loo.
Skip my loo, my darling.
How did you meet?
I've been traveling all about the continent, zigzagging my way from north to south. It was going on 3 years there when I found her in a remote village of Zulu origin.
She's Zulu? Cool.
Not exactly sure how much Zulu she has in her. She was living among them with her mother, but they were sort of outcasts from what I could tell at the time, based on my limited knowledge of the local customs and taboos.
What exactly do you mean by finding her?
I was looking for a wife. I literally searched the whole world over to find the perfect woman for me.
An African retard.
That's right.
You are completely bugged out.
You're bugged out means crazy.
I know what it means.
Just think right.
What?
Obviously, you're marrying her.
Why not?
Is this all one big joke? Any minute now, she's gonna come over to me and tell me that she's been playing me this entire time and that you two put her up to it.
Well,
Oh, okay, but no hard feelings. No hard feelings.
I know what you know, I swear.
Can I be frank with you?
You can be Tom, Dick, or Harry for all I care.
All right, whatever.
Oh, look, you hurt his feelings.
I doubt it. But hey, go on. Say what you were gonna say.
Well, first, we just met. And I want to make sure it's okay for me to speak my mind to you, to speak to you straight.
Yeah, sure. Say your thing.
Dead ass, keep it real.
What is love? And what does it mean to be truly in love?
I'm truly in love with Siobhan.
Are you sure?
Yes, absolutely.
Absolutely, that covers a lot of ground.
Absolutely.
Is she in love with you?
Yes, of course. I love Thomas. And we love each other.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And what exactly do you mean by that?
Mean by what?
Mean by saying you're in love, absolutely or otherwise?
What are you trying to say?
I'm just trying to get to the bottom of the thing. Sure, people are always saying they love each other, but when it comes right down to it, saying it and really being in it, in love, are often not one and the same. But let's face it, the word's meaning is very often inflated, overinflated.
Who the hell are you talking about?
I'm talking about what's really real.
Here we go.
Huh?
That was always his thing. Simon is always big on big ideas, big questions, stuff you talk about when you're young and high, stuff with no real answers.
Okay. All right. So what is it again? What's the question?
What does it mean to be truly in love?
Okay. To be in
in love. To be in love, it means that you don't want to even imagine being without the person that you love.
I see. But I guess it must be hard to stop yourself at times from keeping that thought out of your head, the thought of what it would be like to be without the one you love.
Yeah, but the most important part is that you don't want to imagine it, even if you do imagine it every once in a while.
Wait, you think about being without me?
I mean, I don't know, sometimes, but you can't control what pops into your head.
Or you think about me dropping dead?
Oh, please, it's more of a vague idea than anything else. And when it does come around, it's not hard to put it out of my mind as fast as it comes
You
into
think
it.
about me being dead. That's a real nice thought.
It's not just that.
Not what?
Not just you being dead. Maybe she thinks about you leaving her, or her leaving you.
I didn't say that.
I didn't say that you did, but can you be sure that thoughts like that never enter your mind? Can you?
Fuck you. And no, they don't. I don't think those kind of things. They're morbid and negative. That's your problem. You always think about things that don't need to be thought about, especially when they don't even exist. They don't even exist. That was always your problem. What's the point? If we all thought like that, we would all be depressed.
I'm not depressed.
No, you're just fucked up is what you are. You think too much. And most of what you think about ain't worth nothing. Nothing in the real world.
The real world?
That's right.
He ever tell you he once thought of becoming a Jesuit?
Come on, give me a break. That was ages ago.
Jesuit, what's that?
A Jesuit is a priest.
You a priest.
It was a passing thought. It left my life with spring break and cake parties.
See you being a priest.
Not just a priest, a Jesuit.
But you said a Jesuit was a priest.
It's a very special kind. They are very smart and they have to study like 14 years to become one. We were taught by them in college.
Can't get married?
No marriage, no sex, just a lot of thinking.
That sounds frustrating.
Totally.
So what do you think?
About Jesuits?
About love?
I think a lot of things. There are a lot of things to think about when you think about love.
Here we go.
Such as?
Well, let's see. You've heard of Plato, right?
Yeah, I've heard of him.
He wrote this story, the Symposium. Took place back in ancient times, back in ancient Greece. The Symposium was basically a drinking party among friends drinking and talking about things just like we're doing now.
Love too.
Of course, that was the main topic, and the people at this party had their own ideas on the subject. This one guy, Aristophanes, he told a story about how the first people on Earth didn't walk around, but rather rolled around. They were in the shape of balls, only with 4 arms, 4 legs, 2 heads, and 2 sets of genitalia. And what they would do is tuck themselves up and roll around the earth, all happy and without a care in the world. And because they were so happy, the gods eventually got jealous. Gods don't like people being happy on a 24/7 basis.
Turns out there's no such thing as God.
So, some of the gods suggested that they just kill the whole lot of us, just wipe out the entire human race. But then, one of the more pragmatic gods suggested that that wouldn't be such a good idea, because then they'd get no more sacrifices.
That makes sense.
Finally, a solution was found. Cut them in half. Chop everybody into 2 pieces. That way, we wouldn't be so happy, while at the same time giving the gods double the amount of sacrifices. Zeus loved the idea and ordered his blacksmith to chop everybody in 2, leaving the earth with people like us. Pathetic, crippled creatures destined to search the world over for our other half. Without our missing half, we are lost.
Well, I like that. Love is about finding your perfect match.
Or the desire for something lost, the yearning for the love of your life.
That's just one guy's idea.
Right. Socrates, who was also at the party, said that if you're in love with someone, then you are enslaved by that love.
Depends on how you look at it.
Well, if there's only one true match for each of us, if you don't find it, you're sad. And if you do find it, you're only setting yourself up for sadness, because everything dies. Everything comes to an end.
Happy-go-lucky guy.
Actually, he was. Socrates was a very happy guy.
He committed suicide.
But happily, he drank the poison without sorrow, without regret.
I don't get that.
He was a man of principles. And you don't see much of that nowadays.
Without love, what's the point to anything?
Socrates believed in love, only not the kind of love Aristophanes was talking about. Socrates' idea of love was a ladder of love. We all start out on the first rung. The first rung is when you first look at someone and fall in love with their beauty.
Love at first sight.
Right, but this kind of beauty is only a shadow of true beauty.
True beauty?
True beauty is at the very top of the ladder.
Oh yeah, and what is that?
I'm not sure. It's kind of vague. But Socrates does say that in order to get there, you have to climb past the rungs of physical beauty, past the rungs of inner beauty, past the rungs of lasting beauty, the beauty of great art, great science, until you reach the very top, where beauty is completely abstract, but completely pure. And if you can reach the very top, you can behold this pure form of beauty in a state of absolute rapture. The only problem is that in this state, nothing is there to love you back, because beauty being pure has no need for love itself. It is the focus that has no focus of its own.
I like the other guy's description much better.
Most people do, but then again, most people end up getting disappointed, and that's a sad truth, isn't it?
You are fucking morbid, Simon.
I don't think so.
But you said everybody ends up getting disappointed.
You said it was a sad truth.
Yes, I most definitely did, but I qualified it by saying it was sad and true for most people. Most, but not all. Most, which does not include everybody, which does not include myself.
How convenient.
I'm just saying it like it is, Tommy boy.
Well, what makes you different than us and most everybody else?
Well, I didn't specifically say you, although I suspect you two would most likely fall into the said majority.
Of course.
The difference between what I've got, what I've finally attained now, and what most everybody else will never have, is the fact that Yo-Yo will never betray me. That's one thing, and that's a big thing, that level of safety, security. What's more, in her, in our relationship, I believe I have found not only my missing piece, but also the top rung of the ladder, the best of both options. Pure in her ignorance, she is the object of my love, with no real need of love in the sense that you or I might know it. Her retardation is my salvation.
What a bunch of horseshit.
It's the truth.
Truth or not, what you're saying is easily fit into owning a dog.
Partially, yes, but not completely. A dog is not enough for obvious sexual reasons and also for reasons of the heart.
Listen to you. What did I tell you? He's out of his fucking mind.
You're just jealous.
Jealous of you.
Yeah, right.
Don't get me wrong, your girl here, Siobhan, she's a most beautiful and intelligent woman, to be sure, and I'm sure you both bring much happiness into each other's lives, but in the end, sooner or later, how long will it last?
What are you trying to say?
What I've just been talking about. I'm talking about the true nature of true love, and in particular now, the nature of your love and the extent to which you can be committed.
Well, I'm committed and we're both committed to each other.
That's fucking right.
Yeah, sure, I can see that, but what are the limits of your commitment? It just seems to me that if your commitment to each other has certain limits, then it's not really a true commitment.
Is that so?
Indubitably.
No limits whatsoever.
None. Yo-Yo will never betray me. Not because I'm anything so great, but because the notion of betrayal is completely beyond her ken. I am the ultimate meaning of her life, her ultimate ground of being. I am her alpha and her omega. Total unmitigated devotion, total adoration, total unconditional commitment until the day I die.
And then what, she throws herself on your funeral pyre.
That's actually not a bad idea. Although there definitely would be certain legal ramifications to consider.
You are so full of it.
Sticks and stones.
You still have not convinced me.
Well, I am sorry to hear that.
Oh, but you seem to have convinced yourself.
You think I'm deluded?
Among other things, you hinged your entire argument on the premise of commitment. Love is more than just commitment.
Yes, without true unconditional commitment, you can't have true unconditional love. Without a proper foundation, I cannot stand for very long. The first big storm, poof, it's gone.
Well, I'm committed to Siobhan.
You sure of that?
Like I said before, absolutely.
You are unconditionally devoted to Siobhan.
Yes, I am.
Okay. Let me ask you a question then. Let's say that one day Siobhan sits you down and confesses to something she did that was absolutely horrible. Would you still be devoted to her?
What kind of stupid question is that?
Well, if you're truly devoted, it follows that it wouldn't matter what she did in regards to your love for her. I could blow up Times Square and you would still be devoted to me.
All right. To answer your stupid, ridiculous question, yes, I would be devoted to her no matter what.
Thank you.
I love you, baby.
Love you too.
Oh. She wants you to smell her fingers. She must really like you. It's okay, it's not a bad smell. In fact, you might find it quite intoxicating. I'm serious, it's really strange, but in a good way. Go on, I promise you won't be disappointed.
Oh my God. I've never smelled anything like that in my life.
Yeah.
That's fucking incredible.
Yeah.
Here, let me.
No, wait, don't! It's all over now. This calms her, like when you rub a crocodile's stomach, same sort of thing.
What the fuck is going
You
on?
alright?
Fine. This one wild little African you got there.
Sorry about that. She does have some unique peccadillos. You okay?
Yeah, I'm fine. She just surprised me is all. She just snapped out of nowhere.
You tried to smell her fingers.
I didn't think it was a problem.
She didn't offer them to you.
Yeah, I realize that. Believe me, I won't go anywhere near them again.
No, you were right, that smell. It was intoxicating.
Smelling.
Anything like that.
Smell can be very mysterious. Scientists are only now scratching the surface of some almost infinite parameters in the brain, how it affects mood and memory and all sorts of thought processes.
Hey, where's the king?
Down the hall, first door on the left.
Thanks.
You're staring at me.
You're quite beautiful.
Thank you.
But that's not why I'm staring.
No?
Yes, for some reason you suddenly seem very familiar.
What do you mean?
Maybe we met somewhere before.
No, I don't think so.
You seem oddly familiar. Maybe you remind me of somebody I used to know, but I can't remember who.
Awfully good with that yo-yo.
Extraordinarily good.
Damn, Simon, that bathroom is crazy. It's like some kind of museum or something. Yeah, he's got all the walls covered with all these wild animals. Some of them are eating each other. It's really great. You gotta check it out.
I took most of those photographs myself.
Right.
Doubting Thomas.
Excuse me.
Where are you going?
I'm going to the bathroom. What do you think?
What'd you say to her?
What? I didn't say anything. She seemed perturbed. She had to take a piss, just like you did, only unlike you, she didn't have to wait for you.
So, what do you think?
About Siobhan? She's hot, totally. You're clearly at your league.
I'm fucking crazy about it.
I could see that. Anybody could.
What's that supposed to mean?
Nothing. I just mean it's obvious you're nuts about her. Nothing wrong with that, I suppose.
Now you're insinuating. That was always your thing, insinuating. You are and will always be an insinuating son of a bitch.
You're just being paranoid. That was always your thing.
I'm not paranoid. Why would you say that? Do I seem paranoid?
Totally.
Fuck you.
Chill out, homeboy. Have another beer.
I am chilled.
Well, good then. Very good.
Sometimes the weed makes you paranoid. Everybody knows that.
Sure. Why, you worried about something?
Me? No, I'm just a little uneasy, I guess. I don't know why.
Paranoia strikes deep into your life, it will creep. It starts when you're always afraid. Step out of line, man, come and take you away. You better stop.
Hey!
What's that sound? Everybody look what's going down.
That is some voice you have there.
Thank you.
What were you singing?
Very old song, for your time. dear. You make such a wonderful couple.
Until we reach our limits.
I won't egg him on.
True love is unconditional. Without limits, did you not agree to that?
Sure.
And if Siobhan were to one day confess to being a drug addict or a thief, you would still be devoted to her.
Without a doubt.
Or that she murdered someone.
We know where you're going with this, bucko, and no, it wouldn't matter.
No love lost on me.
I see. So, maybe you are truly in love.
See how he swung that back around again? That's what I've been saying. It's what we've both been saying all along.
True love.
True blue.
You too? So how come you're not married?
Why?
You're not married, are you?
No,
You're engaged then?
no.
No, but you don't need to be married or engaged to be truly in love.
Ah, I get it. So you don't believe in marriage as an institution. Fair
I
enough.
didn't say that.
So you do believe in marriage.
Yeah, at the right time, for the right reasons, for the right two people.
For two people who are truly in love?
I completely forgot how you can be such a complete asshole, Simon.
Excuse me? Did I say something wrong? I was
We
just...
know what we're doing.
Dude, I was just following a train of thought. You two said you were truly in love, truly committed, even to the point of her being a murderess. So I was just wondering if you were married or engaged to be married.
Will you marry me?
Huh?
Will you marry me?
Stop playing.
I'm not playing. I want to be with you. I want you to be my wife.
Are you serious?
I've never been more serious in all my life. Siobhan, will you marry me?
I don't know what to say. Like, stop playing.
I'm not playing. I love you. I love you with all my heart and all my soul. You're my alpha and omega. Please say you'll marry me. I want to spend all of my days with only you. I love you. I need you. I want to be with you forever and ever. Siobhan, will you marry me?
Oh my god. You are serious. Yes? Yes, I'd love to marry you.
Now, isn't this grand?
Hey, wait a minute. Are you cross-eyed? Is she cross-eyed?
That is not a nice thing to say.
I'm just making an observation. I didn't say there was anything wrong with it. How come I didn't notice that before? Is she?
Not all the time. Sometimes. I think when she attempts to think beyond her means, like when an autistic person punches themselves in the head, same sort of thing.
That's interesting.
Okay, that's all for now, yo. Enough. Stop cutting now. Simon says stop.
Simon said.
That's right. Simon said Here, go pull out the letters.
That's so... I don't know what the hell it is. Fucking fucked up.
It certainly is.
Hey guys, this is all an elaborate scam.
What's that?
Either you and Thomas, or maybe even you and Yo-Yo, whatever the hell her real name is, are acting this out. You're acting this out as some kind of sick kids. That's what it is now.
I wouldn't put it past him, but I am definitely not in on it.
There's nothing to be in on. What you see is what it is. Yo-Yo is an African retard who also happens to be my wife.
From Africa. That's where she's from.
Oh, yo, listen to Simon now. Simon says, take that flower pot inside to the bedroom. The flower pot over there. Take that inside to the bedroom.
Simon says?
Yes, Simon says, take that pot into the bedroom, and then you can come back and blow with your yo-yo. See?
She's from Africa, alright.
But that doesn't prove anything.
Can you do it?
No, but that still doesn't prove anything.
Okay, I think I get the African part, but why a retard?
White duck.
Why not just a regular brain African girl?
In addition to an intense personal attraction to Yo-Yo herself, regardless of her retardedness, there's also the fact that I've always had a thing for retards. I've always marveled about how happy they are. I once worked in a retard school, a very long time ago.
Doing what?
I was a janitor. I was still in high school at the time. It was a summer job. Retards don't get summer vacations.
They wouldn't know how to appreciate it.
I suppose. I used to come in every morning and I'd have to pass through the gym where they were playing their various retard games, their morning exercise. One day, not long before I first started, one of the retards hits me square in the nose with one of those red rubber balls, the kind they use for dodgeball. I tell you, it hurt like hell.
In the face, that hurts like fuck.
What did you do?
I stopped. I froze on the spot, stone cold. And when I stopped dead like that, all the retards, they stopped dead too. I held it like that for a moment, perfectly still, with this huge frown on my face before breaking into a giant grin. Well, those retards went nuts. They started hooting and hollering and jumping and laughing for joy. They got the joke of it. They understood somehow that I was egging them on.
How do you know that?
Because each day after that, I'd come into the gym and I'd frown and freeze until they noticed me and stopped and stared until I would repeat the big grin, to which they would once again jump alive with retard joy and jubilation. I did it every single day, and every single day, they got a big, big kick out of it. Let me tell you something. Don't ever underestimate a retard. They know some things. You'd be surprised.
Sure, like octopuses. I read somewhere that pound for pound, they're the smartest creature if you take their tiny little brains into account.
What's her real name, her African name?
I don't know. Her name was erased by a witch doctor. She was thought to be a child witch. Just take a look at her teeth.
Her teeth?
What do teeth have to do?
She has perfect teeth. Not a single cavity, not a single crack or blemish. Oh, yo-yo, show your teeth! Simon says, show your teeth!
They are quite nice.
And that's without brushing them for most of her childhood.
That makes her a witch.
It's a sign. Not proof, perhaps, but a sign.
Well, the sign of a witch. What kind? A good witch or a bad witch?
She was considered a bad witch. A very bad witch. She was thought to be responsible for the death of her father.
But she wasn't, was she?
I don't believe so, but she was thought to be guilty of that in addition to an awful sequence of terrible events.
Which were?
Drought, sickness, and a whole herd of elephants losing their minds. Her father was killed by an insane, rampaging elephant thought to be possessed by one of her spells.
There's no such thing as insane elephants. Only people can go crazy.
Not true.
No, animals can be mentally disturbed.
They certainly can.
I didn't know that.
Sure. Like when a dog bites his master.
And?
When a dog bites his master, he's clearly insane. Because a dog only knows to obey, to basically worship his master. I mean, think about it. Just coming into view, will we get the wagging of the tail? Forget about a kind word, a pet on the head, a small morsel of food. You give a dog any sort of positive attention, he goes absolutely nuts with unadulterated bliss and adoration. For a dog, the master is God. But, like the Hebrew God of the Old Testament, the master does all sorts of unfathomable things.
Like fucking up Job with boils and blisters.
Right. The dog, like the ancient Jews, has got to take it and roll with the punches. The master gets angry and kicks the poor cur for no apparent reason. The dog will take it. Perhaps confused, maybe stressed, but the dog will always take the beating because it comes from the master. The notion of the master being drunk or bitter with life is completely beyond the limits of a dog's universe. Dog disasters and catastrophic calamities are God's will. And the dog, like the wandering Jews lost in the desert, must endure all suffering without losing faith.
God works in mysterious ways.
Right now, if you take the same dog and have a stranger kick him, it would only be right that the dog should bite the strange man.
Because it's not his God, it's not his master.
That's it. To bite the hand that feeds him. That's the crazy thing.
What if the dog has a super canine insight and thinks that the master is a man like all other men, and that there is no God?
Interesting point. But he will still be destroyed. He will be destroyed because he appears to be crazy. It makes no difference that the dog is indeed some kind of doggy visionary. Seeing the absolute truth in things has always been a very dangerous enterprise, no matter what species you belong to.
I'll drink to that.
Hey, maybe you should slow down.
Slow down for what?
You've been hitting it kind of hard.
I'm celebrating. We're celebrating, aren't we?
We certainly are.
Maybe we should all switch back to beer.
Good idea.
Whew, fine. Beer sounds just fine. Cool me down some. Are you gonna drink yours?
So I'm gonna stick to beer for now.
All right then. Bottoms up.
All right, Thomas.
Oh. Excuse me.
I'm sorry.
Wait, but where are you going?
To get the beer.
No. You sit. Sit and relax with your fiancée. I'll get the beers.
My fiancé.
He looks like he's gonna be sick.
I don't feel so good. I need to go to the bathroom.
He is passed out. Oh, I'm sorry.
No need to worry. She sleeps like the dead. Only way to wake her is to kick her.
Same for Thomas. He's completely blacked out.
He never was a major league drinker, but he always did give it his
He
best.
couldn't even budge him. He's curled up on the bathroom floor.
You want me to help you move?
Oh, maybe in a minute. I need a breather. He puked his brains out. But don't worry, I held his head right over the toilet.
The perfect woman. That's what you are.
I thought she was the perfect.
She is. I was only kidding about you.
Sure know how to flatter her.
I'm just joshing.
So what's the real deal with her?
The real deal?
Yeah, the truth.
Ah, the truth. Everything I told you is the truth.
Well, how did you meet her?
Through her mother. I met her mother first. I had sex with her mother first, who was extremely attractive and exceptionally adept in the sack. A near perfect woman. except for the fact that she had 6 fingers on her right hand. An extra digit stuck out at a near right angle from the base of her pinky. It was a long finger, a misplaced middle finger, I suppose.
Wrong this finger.
Why, yes, I certainly was. Do you know there's a whole tribe of 2-toed people, the Vedona tribe? By some quirk of evolution, the entire tribe is 2-toed.
Really, you surprised you didn't find a wife among them?
I tried. I made inquiries, but there was little interest to go on.
You are a very sick individual.
Thank you.
But charming. Charming in a perverted kind of way.
Which would make you, at least, partially perverted in some kind of way.
Maybe. So how did you get from the mother to the daughter?
Basically, I bought her. Paid a fair price with very little haggling. Money wasn't the issue for me. From the moment I first saw her hanging there, I was completely mesmerized.
Hanging.
Yes, hanging upside down in her hut. Her hands were tied, but she was not gagged. For some reason, she was allowed to moan and cry to her heart's content.
Hanging upside down.
Yes, like I said, she was thought to be a witch.
And hanging upside down is going to cure her.
No, she was routinely hung to get her to confess so that then they could drown her.
So they were torturing her.
Only they didn't think that. They thought they were doing the right thing. Can't be soft on a witch. In Africa, witches eat the souls of their victims, bringing disease and death. And for some strange reason, many of the witches are children. Yo actually had it easier than most. Her 15-year-old cousin had battery acid injected into his stomach by his father, and another cousin, a girl of 12, was blinded with bleach to cure her evil visions.
Okay, I get the picture.
Maybe you do, maybe you don't.
It's just terrible.
Yes, and quite common, too. The Catholic Church runs an entire shelter for victimized boy witches. Unfortunately, there's no shelter available for the girls.
Figures.
Yeah, their only option is to pay a witch doctor for a cure. Get it? Witch doctor. A doctor for witches.
I get it.
But they can be pricey.
You are not capable of having a serious line of thought, are you?
I'm always serious.
No, you're not.
Yeah, Africa is a wonderful place. A place where the wives do all the work while their husbands relax like lions. Oh, I had such a wonderful time.
I'll bet you did.
And to top it all off, it's the place where I found the love of my life.
Seduced by a child witch.
Perhaps. You smelled her fingers.
Yeah, no, that was fucking strange.
But in a good way?
In a
Pleasant way?
In a trimmy way.
Maybe I'm romanticizing it, but I believe to this day, from the moment I smelled those fingers, that was it for me. I had met my Waterloo.
You are out of your mind.
Maybe, but I don't think so. The fact remains that I am here and she is here, and we are man and wife. The perfect couple. A new and improved Adam and Eve.
Maybe she is a fucking witch.
Do you believe in them? In witches?
I don't know, do you?
I believe in everything.
I'm pagan, you are.
Indeed, I am a pagan. I think I'm ready for a beer. Would you like a cold beer?
Sure. And then I guess I'll try to rouse up Thomas.
Your fiancé?
Yeah, my fiance.
So what happens when you get your PhD?
I want to be a therapist, a child therapist.
Oh. Had a pretty fucked up childhood, huh? They say that people that go into psychology are either fucked up or have been fucked up as a child, or both.
Is that what they say?
Yes, they do say that. I hear them saying it on street corners, in train stations, sometimes shouting it from rooftops.
It must be true.
Are you fucked up?
Well, we're all fucked up one way or another.
But you had it especially rough as a kid.
More than some and less than others.
If you're uncomfortable talking about it, I completely understand.
Do you?
Yes.
When I was 12, my father killed my mother and it was my birthday.
Why did you kill her?
He was cheating on her. He always cheated on her, but this time he was cheating on her with my aunt. And when my mom finally confronted him about it, he went crazy.
He beat her?
He beat her to death.
You were there.
Yeah. knocked me out quick. And that was the first and only time he hit me.
But not your mother.
No, you beat her on and off for years.
Usually after he did something wrong.
Yeah. He would always end up asking for her forgiveness, asking to get another chance, and she would always give it to him. Up until that last time.
When he killed her.
Yeah.
How did your mom find out about her sister and him?
I told her.
I thought that.
Yeah? But she already knew. I mean, looking back on it, I think she already knew and just refused to face it until I told her.
Must have been hard telling your mom like that.
Yeah. Her first reaction was to slap my face. And she never spoke to me after that.
She didn't have much of a chance.
No. We were home alone, which wasn't unusual, but it was my birthday. And he had promised to take us out to Beefsteak Charlie's for dinner. So we got all dressed up and we waited for hours. And when I finally lost all hope of him coming to take us out, that's when I told her. I was so fucking mad at him.
It was your birthday.
Yeah, but I knew that by telling her she was really gonna hit her fan, but I didn't really care because I just wanted to hurt him. I wanted to hurt him, maybe even meant hurting her.
And yourself.
Yeah.
Did you feel guilty for telling on your father?
No.
Where's he now?
He died in jail. Maybe about a year or so after he went in, they found out that he had stomach cancer. And I never went to visit him. I never saw him after that day.
Your birthday.
He rotted in jail.
Do you hate him?
He's dead. But even if he were alive, I don't think I would hate him. Not now.
Really?
Yeah. You know, I don't think he could have been anybody other than who he was. He had no moral compass, no soul. It was a classic psychopath.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. You know, psychopaths aren't only serial killers like you see them on TV. They can be doctors, lawyers, teachers, artists, you name it. They are everywhere in our society.
That sounds a bit paranoid. But I could see it, sure. Why not? Maybe I'm one. Maybe even you. I'm just kidding.
I know.
But are you?
What?
Are you a psychopath?
No.
I'm thinking maybe you are. I'm serious. I think, like your father, you are one of those psychopaths embedded in our society who pretends to feel, to love, to laugh, to cry, but that's all an act. A scam, as you say. In fact, I'm practically absolutely sure of it now.
Is that so?
Mm-hmm. So maybe we can stop pretending. It's just me and you here now. Let's just be straight up with each other. At first, when you first walked in, I recognized you, but I wasn't sure from where. And then when I asked you, I still wasn't sure. But now, I'm sure it's you. Is Siobhan your real name? Or is it Shamika? Which one? Oh, no use denying it. The cat is out of the bag. I suppose you still have that rather large mole on
All
your...
right.
Perhaps you had it removed since
Look,
then.
okay, all right now.
All right then. So, Shamika, that was the name you told me?
Yes.
Does Thomas know about Shamika?
No, and fuck you.
Hey, relax. You have no right to curse at me. I'm the one who's in the dark here. I'm the one who's wondering what the fuck is going on. You come in here with one of my oldest and dearest friends pretending to be somebody you're
I
not?
wasn't pretending. I'm not pretending to Thomas or you.
Okay, fine, and perhaps you can explain. Maybe you can clear things up some, you know? Give me the real fucking deal, because to tell you the truth, I am completely fucking confused.
Okay.
Just tell me what's up. I want to know what's what here.
Okay, all right. About a year before I met you, I was married to this guy. Okay, we weren't officially married, like on paper. We didn't need a piece of paper to prove our commitment to each other. I was with him, Daryl, for almost 3 years.
And what was his story?
I thought he was the most honest, most loving person I had ever met.
But he turned out otherwise.
Yeah, like I said, we were together for almost 3 years. And I got pregnant.
You didn't like that.
No, he was overjoyed about it. I wasn't sure myself. I mean, we were just starting college. I was just starting college. I wanted to wait. And he begged me to keep it, and I kept it because of him. But when I made the decision to keep it, I was so happy. I was so overwhelmingly happy.
He betrayed you.
One day he came home with this strange look on his face. And he told me that he had to tell me something.
Whenever somebody says they have to tell you something, it's always going to be something bad.
He told me to sit down. And he told me that he had just got tested for HIV and that I had to get tested too. And he told me that he had relations with another man, with other men. And what was even more fucked up was that after that day I couldn't ask one question about it. Like it never happened. If I even hinted about it, he'd fly into a rage.
He hit you?
Not at first.
But eventually?
Yeah. And not long after I lost the baby. And this has something to do with the stress, right? That's what the doctor said.
Stress can do that.
When the baby died, all my feelings for him died.
Did you tell him? Did you break up with him?
No. I was just sad. I was so sad I couldn't do anything. I stopped taking care of myself. I stopped going to school. I cried a lot. Cried all the fucking time.
What did Daryl do?
Well, the sadder I got, the madder that made him. He couldn't stand to see me moping, as he put it. He smashed dishes, glasses, tables, chairs. Anything that was breakable, he broke.
Including your heart.
Yeah.
So how did it finally end?
One day he hit me, and I wasn't crying. We were arguing. We were just watching TV. I was just pretending to watch TV. I was just looking at the screen, and I remember so clearly. Looking at the images, but not really seeing them for what they were. And I could feel him staring at me. And when I turned to face him, he smacked me so hard across the face that he broke my cheekbone, and that was it! That was it. I couldn't do anything. He said sorry and all that bullshit, but there was no way.
What'd you do?
Got the motherfucker arrested. I got a restraining order, and I never saw him again.
That's a really sad story.
Yeah, well, it is what it is.
Yeah, but it still doesn't tell me.
Okay, I didn't get to it yet.
Excuse me.
Okay? With Daryl gone, so too went my sadness. But only now I was replaced with anger, and I was at war with everything and everyone. And I was just furious with myself. And I was just in pain being in my own skin.
No escape from yourself.
No. And it was during that time that me and you met. The lost years. That's what I call them now.
So Shamika was like a stage name, your alter ego?
Shamika was the most angry, most hateful part of who I was.
You didn't seem so to me. She didn't seem that way. Shamika, I mean. I had a great time. You were a lot thinner then. You had dreads. You didn't seem at all angry to me. In fact, you seemed quite the opposite.
Look, I don't want to sound harsh or mean, but really, I really did forget about you until just today. Even when Thomas introduced us, I still had no recall at all.
When did you remember?
Do you really want to know?
Yes.
When I held Thomas's head over the toilet bowl.
Puke reminds you of me?
I didn't say that.
It's okay. I got no problem with puke. Some of the most expensive perfumes in the world are made from whale puke.
I was just...
You know, aside women adorn their hair with cow dung, makes their men go wild.
Look, you meant absolutely nothing to me. Okay, it was not about you. It had nothing to do with who you were. At that time, I was literally trying to fuck my brains out. You were like, no, fuck them, I'll count this other folks. So you have a pain over here, so you give yourself another pain over here to make the first pain go away. But it doesn't really work. It just gets worse and worse.
Until you hit bottom.
I guess.
Sometimes we have to kindness of strangers. We were strangers once, twice actually, if you count today. You know, you were my very first black chick. Now I'm thinking, maybe it was you who pointed me in the direction of deepest, darkest Africa. Once you go black, you never go back. Isn't that what they say? What's the matter? Why are you so quiet all of a sudden? Where are you
I'm gonna
going?
get Thomas and then we're out of
Just a
here.
second before you do. Before you go and get your fiancée, I just want to let you know that I'm on to you. I am on to you, and I've been on to you since the moment I realized who you were.
Is that so?
Mm-hmm. That was some story you told. I'll give you that. Very believable. But that's all it is. A story. Just a fucking story, even if it is true.
It doesn't make sense.
Sometimes a story can be factual, but not really true. Sometimes just a simple telling of the facts told in such a way can easily distort the truth to the point of being untrue. A lie.
You seem to be an expert on what is true and what is not.
Your story is nothing but a self-made myth to get yourself off the hook, to escape what you really are, a greedy, self-centered tramp. You don't love Thomas. You are incapable.
I love Thomas, and that is one thing that I do know.
You don't know what love is.
You think yourself so clever.
Clever has nothing to do with it. It's more a matter of seeing things as they are, seeing people for who they really are. You shouldn't be so offended. Not out to get you, if that's what you think.
There's nothing to be got.
That's good, because I'd hate for there to be any hard feelings between us.
I don't think I like you very much. In fact, I know I don't like you at all. Must admit, at first I thought you were interesting, smart even.
Not anymore.
Not really. It's just now I have a bigger picture. And this fuller picture of you makes me see something that I don't like, and I can see why Thomas doesn't see you very often.
Oh, can you? What if I were to tell you that you were more than a bit uninformed on that account? What if I were to tell you that your faithful, loving Thomas had a skeleton or two of his own rattling around in his closet?
I'm not interested, I don't care.
That's bullshit. At least you can be straight up on one thing, if only that.
I really have to go.
Of course, I don't hold it against him anymore. I've forgiven him. Completely. But at the time, it was hard. Like you, I know what it's like to feel betrayed by someone you love. Only with me, it was not only by my girlfriend, but by my best friend, too. One right after the other. A 1-2 punch to the soul. She was my first real love. So you can imagine how hard it was to find her carrying on with someone else. No, not Thomas. Not at first. Some asshole from the squash team. And I would have taken her back too, had she given me a bit more time maybe, but she couldn't wait for my forgiveness. She wanted it right away. I wasn't ready, so we broke up. And that's when Thomas entered the picture, so to speak. The corpse of our relationship wasn't even cold, and there he was, banging away with my extremely recent ex-love. So what they did was technically not really a betrayal, since she was no longer officially my girlfriend. But the fact that they carried on in secret confirms the unsavory nature of their liaison. Of course, I gotta give Thomas credit for telling me he didn't have to do that. I would have never known. But I always wonder if she counted on that. She was crafty enough to figure that Thomas being Thomas would end up confessing after all was said and done. Some things, I guess, we'll never find out. In any case, it was pretty stupid of him to tell me.
To tell you the truth, what is wrong with you? Imagine how hard that was for him.
It was stupid.
because it ruined our friendship. He betrayed me with someone I still cared very deeply for. After a betrayal like that, what existed before is changed forever. Once the glass is broken, you can try and glue the pieces back together, but even if it does hold water, you will always see the cracks, the reminders of the whole glass that has been damaged. Better to throw it out, to retain the memory of what was once beautiful rather than be constantly reminded of what was lost and can never be again. It's strange. Thomas never told you about us, about what happened.
Maybe you're just not that important.
Maybe.
You know, after hearing what you had to say, I admire him even more than before.
You're fooling yourself again. I'm thinking, you're so damn good at lying to yourself and others that you're at a point where you don't even realize it anymore. You want to believe how good, how wonderful a man Thomas is, how faithful, how altruistic. When I know, and deep down, you know, there's no such thing. In that way, me and you, we're the same. You're just afraid to admit it. People do good acts to satisfy themselves. Why do old people feed squirrels and pigeons? Because it gives them a sense of purpose, a sense of control. An old person is near the end. The game's soon over, and they desperately need to feel that they have some way to control something, anything, as their whole world is narrowed down to less and less choices until they become the nothingness from which there is no escape. You ever see a successfully owned banker or an architect feeding pigeons in the park? Never. Just old people or crazy people, or sometimes real lonely people. Thomas was doing good to give himself a feeling of control in a situation that had got out of control. Thomas, like all those old fucks in the park, is nothing but a weakling, too afraid to accept what's really real.
You will never be happy. Although I can't say that I pity you.
You are repulsed by me because you see yourself in me.
I am repulsed by you because you are repulsive. I am far from perfect. But unlike you, I can see where I've gone wrong and I try to do something about it. I'm not perfect. Nobody is. And I regret causing pain to others and to myself. But I know that I'm going to try my best to do what's right, especially for Thomas, because I love him and he loves me.
A blowjob would be just perfect. I think I would like a blowjob. A blowjob and a fuck. Nothing elaborate or extended. I'm no marathoner. I have no interest in that. Just a standard blowjob and a quick fuck. 4 or 5 minutes, more than enough to do the trick. You game?
I know you're not kidding. And that is even more pathetic than your presumption that I could ever remotely consider such a thing.
Oh, you will consider it. In fact, you will do much more than just consider. I will have my blowjob. I will have my fuck. Not just one or the other either. Both. A blowjob and a fuck. Right here. Or, if you're shy, over there behind the bar.
So you're gonna rape me now?
No. I'm going to seduce you.
You're going to seduce me.
That's right. No physical force will be necessary. I know you're not stupid. Unlike Yo-Yo, you got a mind on top of those tits. It is with your mind that I will get you to blow and fuck me while your fiancé lies dormant on the bathroom floor.
You are boring. You are a boring, bitter, demented individual. Normally, I would suggest you get some kind of help. But some people are beyond help. You are too far gone.
Either myself or maybe even you will end up telling Thomas that me and you once fucked during your so-called lost years. But lost years or
forgotten years, or totally fucked up I'm a nympho, one-night stand tramp years, whatever you want to call them. The blaring truth will screech the fact that I fucked you and you never told me about it. Or I can get my blowjob and fuck pronto, and he will never know about either event. Think about it carefully now. Does it really make that big of a difference if we have sex again one time now, or if we had it 2 times back then? Try to approach it with a clear head, mathematically, logically. If we had sex twice in the past, would that be very different from once now and once then? In both cases, we're talking about 2 events, the only problem being the time between the 2. Because we can't dispute or alter the fact that we indeed did fuck. And we can't alter or dispute the fact that this fact will no doubt cause a considerable amount of pain to Thomas, your fiancé. Do you really want to spew forth our unwholesome liaison just so you can tell yourself you're doing the right thing? Is it the right thing? Of course, I'm sure there's a very good chance that Thomas will forgive you. But there's no way that your current relationship will ever be the same. It has to change once he's faced with the fact of our fucking. I may be sick and demented, but I know what I'm saying makes sense. So, door number 1, refuse me and hope that Thomas doesn't forever harbor resentment and doubt over how truthful and committed a person you are. Tell him straight out that you neglected to tell him that me and you once fucked, and with that, tell him why. Tell him about those thousands of fucks during your lost years. Tell him about us, or have me tell him, and let the cards of your future together fall where they may. Or, door number 2, give me my blowjob and fuck. Quickly, right here, right now. Just get through it. And then you can leave this horrible place with your fiancé and your relationship as intact as it was when you walked in. Door number 1 or door number 2?
Why are you even doing this?
Why does a dog lick his balls?
Hey. Where's Siobhan?
Passed out in the study.
What?
Relax, she fell asleep in my reading chair while you were passed out in the bathroom. She's fine. She didn't believe that Maasai women use cow shit as hair conditioner. I gave her a book on them, but she fell out, and I didn't see any reason to wake her or you.
Well, I should get her up and we'll...
Wait a fucking minute, will you? Stop being so goddamn whipped. I haven't seen you in years. Have a fucking beer with me, then you can get your girl and you can both be on your way.
That hits the fucking spot.
So what made you come here?
What? To see you. Why?
Sometimes I wonder if there's still bad feelings.
Oh, no. No.
I want you to know I'm still really sorry about it. I still feel bad about it.
Yeah, sure. I know. But it was a lifetime ago. Ages ago.
Not a whole lifetime. We are still both very much alive, kicking.
I'm a very different person than I was back then.
Did you hate me?
Did I? I don't know. Why are you bringing it up anyway?
I don't want to talk about it in front of your girl.
Why would you want to talk about it at all?
I still feel bad about it. Guilty feelings.
Forget it. As far as I'm concerned, consider it forgotten.
but not forgiven.
I didn't say that. I forgive you, Simon. I do.
What about Virginia?
I forgive both of you.
Who'd you hate more, me or her?
I didn't say anything about hate. Back then, it was way more about hurt than hate.
Who hurt you more, me or her?
But you both hurt me the fucking same. You both messed me up real bad. I didn't think to put a measuring stick to it then or now.
I see. But you two were officially broken up. What we did was technically not a betrayal.
Technically, what the fuck is that supposed to mean, Simon? You fucked her. You fucked someone who meant the entire world to me. And because of that, my world was completely falling apart. I mean, whether or not we were broken up doesn't erase that fact.
You still have not gotten over it.
I have gotten over it. It just steams me up to hear you try to weasel your way out of your atrocious and disgusting past behavior.
You don't sound like you're over it, not at all.
I am over it. Like I said, it was from a lifetime ago. I am a completely fucking different person now.
How so?
How so? You want to know how so? I'll tell you. Back in those days, I was really messed up. I didn't know which way was up, even though I thought I knew everything. Or deceived myself into thinking I knew everything like you. I thought to be or tried to be some kind of deep thinker.
You most definitely were a deep thinker. I was once very impressed, maybe even envious of your thinking.
I'm flattered.
Aristotle says that a friend is a single soul dwelling in two bodies.
What's up with the spirit?
There's something I gotta tell you.
Whenever someone says they have something to tell you, it's never anything good.
Not only is it not good, it's absolutely awful. Tragic.
What?
Siobhan, she's gone.
What?
She left. She's gone. I lied to you before. Siobhan is not asleep in my study. She's gone. Hopefully for good.
What the fuck? What's that supposed to mean? Gone.
She split about an hour ago. Maybe you should sit.
I don't want to sit.
Look, this is going to be hard. It's going to be really hard to hear. It's hard for me to say.
Spit it out.
She's not who you think she is. You've been deceived.
Oh, yeah, right. Very funny. It's not funny. Where is she?
Gone.
Gone.
After you passed out, me and her, we...
Oh, God. Yeah, right. Stop fucking around.
People that study psychology, they are completely fucked up in the mind. It's not her fault. You know about her childhood. It's not her fault. You know about her childhood. She
Oh,
can't help
you
who
better
she is.
fuck-
Just calm down.
Just putting a fucking spear in my chest.
Yes, for now. I'm not taking any chances.
With what?
With you going ballistic.
Is this another one of your sick jokes?
No joke. I fucked her. I fucked Siobhan. I fucked her and she left.
You're nuts.
She couldn't help herself. It's just the way she's built. I've known girls like that. She's a complete psycho. A psycho nympho who's been with hundreds, probably thousands of guys before you.
Even if that was fucking true, it doesn't fucking matter.
Maybe not, but it certainly matters what she did here, what she did with me.
You are not funny. You're an asshole.
Thomas, listen to me. I fucked her. You know I did. You can feel it. And if there are any doubts, I saw them all.
Oh, you motherfucker! Thomas!
Listen to me! Listen to me! She seduced me right there on that couch while you were passed out. Well, we were both passed out. It wasn't like I was looking for it. I was out cold there on the couch. I was dead to the world till I woke up with her sucking on my dick. At that point, one thing led to another, and what happened happened. She tried to get me to not tell you about it. She told me her whole tragic story. And she's a complete nympho who can't help it, could never find a way to tell you. It's like an addiction. It's an addiction with her. Like a crackhead lives for a rock, she lives for dick. With as many different men as she can. I know how horrible this must be. I know it hurts, but sometimes it's better to be hurt by the truth than to live in ignorance under a blanket of lies. I feel really bad. I feel awful about it. I should have resisted. But it's over now. We gotta move forward. I gotta find a way to make it up to you. I got an idea. It won't change what happened, but it might help. It might be just the distraction you need.
What I need is the courage to put a bullet in my brain.
What you need is to stop thinking. We gotta fight fire with fire, and I gotta suffer too. It's only fair. Even if what I did will ultimately be for the good, it still does not discount for my weakness in doing it. Now is the time for strength. For me to make it up to you, the only way I know how.
There is nothing you could do to make it up to me.
But I can try. I'm gonna repay you, and distract you, and suffer for you. In a way, not so much unlike your own. Just hear me out. What I'm proposing is for you to do to me what I've done to you. An eye for an eye, a fuck for a fuck. I want you to have sex with my wife, the love of my life. I am offering her up to you as a sign of ultimate remorse and friendship.
Are you out of your fucking mind?
I'm dead serious. I want to suffer. I need to suffer. I need to somehow find a way to do something right for once.
Pimping your wife is something right.
Let's try to get beyond the commonplace, shall we? It's a lot deeper than that.
Your wife tried to kill me earlier.
That was different. You tried to smell her fingers. But if I command her, if I say, Simon says, she will do anything I ask.
I need to get the hell out of here.
Simon says, stand up. Simon says, touch your nose. Simon says, do this. Simon says, do that. Simon says, do this. Simon says, do that. Very good. She never loses this game.
I never want to see you again.
Simon says to stop him. Simon says, pull down his pants.
Hey, cut it out!
Oh, look at that bitch.
Oh my god.
What the fuck?
Polyandry, American style. Simon says to stop. Welcome
I
back.
have nothing to say to you.
What about me?
I love you, Thomas. Hey, I love you. And I can't bear the idea of hurting you or having you look at me like that.
What do you expect?
Shut the fuck up.
I am very and deeply sorry. I know only words, but I am more than I've ever been in my entire life.
Why are you here? Why did you come back?
I came back to say that I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry for leaving you. I'm sorry for abandoning you. That was really wrong, but I was just upset. I was upset and scared to have you look at me the way that you're looking at me now. But when I ran out of here, I didn't know which way to go, so I ran to the park. Okay, but I know you may not want to be with me, and I completely understand that. But I'm hoping that with time, you might find a way to forgive me.
I wish there was a way.
I understand.
It was stupid of you to go in the park by yourself.
It was. But for some reason I wasn't afraid. I got to the park, I didn't get very far. And then I saw this old woman, an old lady, tossing breadcrumbs to a bunch of pigeons. And she saw me and she waved. And I asked her why she was feeding the birds. She said it comforted her. And it brought her close to her husband who had died years ago. Before he passed away, he would go to that very bench. And he would feed the birds, especially at dawn before all the people came around. And I asked her why he fed the birds. And she said, to be kind. My husband was so very kind. And then she went to tell me about their life together. She said that she couldn't have kids. And that he works very hard. And that she even cheated on him once because she thought that he was cheating on her. Putting on the mask that I wore, I became the mask that I feared the most. But it turned out that he didn't even cheat on her to begin with. she did. And it was at that time that I realized that in my horrible fear of you leaving me, that I had put on the mask of my fear. I had put on the mask of abandonment.
Bravo. Bravo. What an absolute crock of shit. Not even a retard would buy that one. She's so full of shit, it's so goddamn obvious. You're not gonna buy that, are you? I love you.
I love you, Thomas, more than anything in the world.
Jesus H. Christ. I'm gonna try and forgive.
Thank you.
I'm gonna try. It's so hard. You and him.
Yeah, but it was a long time ago. I was a different person then.
A long time ago.
Yeah, years.
What?
What?
Years?
Yes, it was years. Years before I met you.
That's why you did it.
Did it? Yeah. I mean, it was years before I met you, and I swear on everything that I love. I swear on my love for you. That I didn't know until after we got here. It wasn't until after you got sick that I realized what happened.
Wait a fucking minute. Let me get this straight. You and him, you had sex a long time ago.
Yes.
But not here, not tonight.
No, not here, not tonight. Not that he didn't try to trick. He tried to blackmail me into fucking him. He said if I fucked him here tonight, he would keep it a secret about what happened between us.
You absolute lying
You
piece of
please
shit!
forgive me.
But you did it.
I didn't.
It's a fucking miracle. I mean, I thought you and him,
No.
but it never happened.
No, it never happened.
It's like a gift. It's like an unforeseen gift.
Look, Thomas, I never told you about a lot of other things. We never talked about it. I never told you about other men that I had before you. I never told you that.
Don't you see? Not one bit. It's like we've been saved. It's like we've been saved from drowning.
May I say something?
No!
Are you all so insecure to fear that my words will somehow change your minds?
Your words are shit.
You know, say what you have to say. Say it, and then we're out of here.
She's a pathological liar. That story about the old woman in the park, she made that shit up. Actually, she got the idea from me. The whole mask thing, she got that from me too, and that's the only part of her story that's actually true. She wore the mask of being a cheater because she could never really trust you. She can't trust you because she can't trust herself. She said that to me, right there. Right fucking there while you were passed out. See, she's so convincing because she mixes up what's real and what's not. Yeah, she fucked a whole bunch of guys, but she also fucked me too. 2 times. Once back in the day, and once here tonight. And not because I blackmailed her, but because you were passed out and out of the picture. Think about it. She admits that we did fuck a long time ago, right? So you think she walked in here and completely didn't recognize me? Does that make any sense?
No.
See, she's ready to run now. Let her go. You're better off without her. Fuck you.
But don't waste your breath. He's a loser. A pathetic, fucked up loser. We should feel sorry for him. I should, but I can't.
Congratulations, I guess you beat me.
I didn't beat you. You're just a loser. A pathetic fool who thinks he's some kind of a legend.
Why'd she do that? You killed her. It was an accident.
That was no fucking accident.
¿Qué tal?